Make yourself famous!
Man, that is the smooth. What the hell?
Devpool, is that you?
Yeah, I was like, we missed a whole lot within that intro. Like,
subject to change. Just like I said, before the start of the show, subject to change.
When the hell did Deadpool all of a sudden become like magical?
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of the new powers.
He made Devin disappear. This is ridiculous.
When did Deadpool burn to a crisp? Is the question.
All right. You know what?
we ain't even like immediately get like we didn't do the say his name and he appears or nothing. This man just showed up.
Right? Could you at least show us the dance? Could you at least hit the dance in the movie?
Right? Can he do the?
Oh, he just disappears. He just vanishes on us.
Okay, look, the dance.
He just hit the. Oh, what? Devin's back now, bro. Deadpool.
I had to get him on my seat. I was like, "What is you doing?" So it was real quick. But my fault.
I had to get him out of my seat. How'd you get Deadpool out of your seat? That's the question here.
Right?
I hit him with a bro kick. I was on the corner.
You just yeet him.
You just yeeted him. You know what? I can
grab him by the utility belt and the mask and just get the hell out of here.
Just yeet him out of here. 2 words. Get out my seat.
No. I love it, man. I love it, man. I wasn't expecting Deadpool to show up and then disappear so soon. But look, we gotta start this off the greatest way possible. Hello, all, and welcome to the Heel Turn Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Jackson Jr. Real quick, this looks like the devious one. Is this a devious one? Ivan here?
Love you, OPC.
Damn, it's the OPC. What is good, fams? Happy Saturday. Let's fucking go. Devin. Really? Devin Deadpool.
Oh, that's a whole different person, OPC. That's a whole different person.
Right, exactly. And why haven't he's like kind of like El Grande Americano, You just don't see him at the same time. Deadpool and Devin, you don't see him.
Literally, Devpool is the only one who knows where Devin is in the undisclosed location.
Exactly. That's why he had to get out of here. He knew too much.
I've never even been to the undisclosed location. So that's crazy. It is insane. And of course, as we mentioned, Devin Deadpool alongside me. Devin, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, I think, for right now. I don't know. You know how people is. They like to hold secrets, because before the start of the show, he was like, "Man, I got something for you. I hope you having a bad day because I'm gonna make it even worse."
Wow.
You know what? I said something similar to that. Yes, I agree.
When John Cena beat up R-Truth, I hope he do it in front of you. I'm like, dang. I just realized. I just finally looked in the corner.
He said, "I just finally looked in the corner."
Watch out for me before the show start on speed, man.
I thought you were supposed to. All I need. I thought you were supposed to be at Worlds Collide. I thought that was supposed to. I thought that was your grand entrance at Worlds Collide.
You know what?
Ivan's giving up the details. He's giving out your information.
And
hey, but when we pivot, like the Rock say. I promise I'm done.
No, it's not. Look, we are just super excited, and of course, we have the Bawse, the Redeemer, and of course, just the all-around GOAT, Justin.
What is up, everybody?
Man,
y'all know it. Y'all feel it. It's Saturday. Backlash is coming. Screw it. You know what? I'll say it on your show. I say it on R and COD all the time. I'm going to say it right here on the Heel Turn. It is game over.
I love it. I love it, man. And look, you look yesterday or the day when we do the show. We did the show Thursday. It was like you looked like you were doing show after show after show after show. This man looks like he woke up. He said, I gotta get myself right. I look clean. I look beautiful. I'm out here. Look, I had to lock my woman up in the corner. So I had to lock her up somewhere. I was like, look, Justin outside. I was like, look, she look, I was like, I just can't have my girlfriend outside. I just can't have the woman outside. Not with Justin around. Not with
listen,
Justin
listen, I love you and all, but like y'all gotta chill, all right? We can't let you be around the Redeemer, okay? It ain't happening.
Yeah, exactly. If I can't handle myself, what makes me think you can? You know, like let me
He'll think it turned into like the Miro thing with my hot flexible wife. Like what the hell?
Exactly. Exactly, man. But Justin, love having you on. Of course, when we gotta get into the Backlash predictions. Of course, gonna have a whole on the back. And I mentioned before with Devin, with Pat McAfee taking on Gunther for the pride of Michael Cole and broadcasters everywhere. Look, about this is I am so on Gunther's side because I felt like even when Gunther was walking up to Michael Cole, and Michael Cole still had the nerve to say, "Well, I'm not the one that tapped out to Gunther." You know, you're still talking that nice talk to Gunther. I feel like he had every right to choke you out right there. And then Pat McAfee intervened. You had the right to get choked out. I feel like Gunther did no wrong here. So all in all, I feel like I'm definitely rooting for Gunther. Justin, am I a little crazy? Is that a psychopathic way to think about this match?
I don't know, but that's pretty freaking funny just thinking about that. Like, boy, you said all the wrong words. That freaking sleeper hold on you was justified. Like,
it's justified.
That is hysterical. But I mean, you know, you seen Pat talking all his stuff. Like, but Pat can talk. That's the good thing about Pat. I love listening to that man to pick up a microphone and just like the fact that he literally was cursing the whole time on Monday during that first like part where you stand up on the table and just you get Nick Aldis coming out there filling in for Adam. It's like so good. I love Pat. He's hysterical. Like for me, this is one of those matches I'm excited for. Like I'm legit excited for this one because we've seen Pat how that man can go. I think about that. Like I think of the Adam Cole match. I think of the time he did the War Games match, the Austin Theory match at Mania. Fantastic in its own right, even though it was short. I'm excited to see what he can do in there with Gunther. Like, will Gunther sell the way you would think? Like, Gunther's a huge man. Pat's not really like that small of a guy, but he's pretty, you know, he's not like the same height and size compared to Gunther right now. But if he starts like picking Gunther up for like suplexes and body slams and stuff like that, I'll be like, all right, Pat, look at Gunther giving it up for you. That's awesome. Like, so honestly, even like all the exchanges they've done so far, I'm excited. I love it. Like they made me hyped up because it's probably like the only match really on the show they've really kind of hyped up a lot. Even the WWE Championship match kind of just feels like, yeah, we just gave you a bunch of stuff. This is about much we could give you in like 2 weeks. But at least with this, they're like, here, we gave you face-to-faces, men getting choked out. Like, it's freaking wild right now.
Oh, my fault. My only I don't mind Pat McAfee like in how can I put it in terms of in the ring commentary. I'm a little at this point kind of so with him.
What?
Really? What you mean? I mean, hey, it's my opinion. Hey, the same way you feel about Booker T, I can feel about Pat McAfee.
Oh, let me tell you something right now, Devin. Let me tell you right here. Let me go in here on Tuesday night. Stephanie Marquez, she pointing at me right now, going, "Look at that. She gonna give me the devil's kiss."
Go give me the devil's.
You can't tell me Pat McAfee ain't. Look at Cole. We got a big SOB.
Wait, so you prefer Booker T over Pat McAfee?
No. I never said Booker T was a good commentator. I just said he was entertaining. I'm not saying Pat McAfee isn't entertaining. I'm just saying as a commentator, all he doing is screaming at me and Michael Cole, you know, it's just Michael Cole. Now, commentary aside, on my opinion, in the ring, I don't mind him. You know, we only see him in spurts. But him versus Gunther, at this point, I actually don't even see Gunther winning. Because you might as well just continue your downward spiral down. You already tapped out quick at WrestleMania. Him beating Pat McAfee ain't gonna do nothing. Like it's like okay. Now if he lose, I could be like, all right, look at you. Now you really need to go figure yourself out. Then he can go take his hiatus. I'm just saying him beating Pat McAfee does nothing. Like it's Because Pat McAfee gonna go back and sit behind that table and be like, "Yeah, I lost to Gunther. Big SOB, yeah, cool. You gonna go right back to it." So no. I was done when he didn't get stretchered out after getting choked. He had to sit there and cough up the ramp. Like, dude, get a stretcher. Or cut to black. Something. I don't need to see you go up the ramp. I'm good. Okay, I'm good. Like, just no. So that's my thing. I know we ain't really say who was going. I'm just saying I can see Pat McAfee somehow winning this because I think Gunther got to go a bit further down before he can start coming back up.
You know, your underdog storylines are starting to make me sick. You'll start because honestly, then the reason why I say that, but here I'm gonna give you credit. The reason why I say that is because sometimes you come out right. 60-70% of the time you have been right. And it's been recorded.
It's so negative. I hate when you try to see people come up from rags to rich. Like it's like, dang,
so tired
like,
of your white meat baby face.
Yeah,
like dang, you just want a company full of heels.
But let Cody Rhodes try to take over, try to beat Roman Reigns. It's a problem. You know, it's a problem now.
But he did though, did he?
But even then, But even going with Gunther doesn't need to lose to Pat McAfee. He's as focused, especially after the promo that he had against Pat McAfee, where he's just like, I'm as focused as I've ever been. You have my full and undivided attention. And if he messes around and loses that, I feel like that hurts him a whole lot.
That's the point.
So you want this man to be hurt. That's what I'm hearing.
That's the point, because look where he's going. He's talking all this stuff and he's not. It's a part of, like, that's what I'm saying. You can make a turn for him out of this. That's the point. He can't do it at the big shows. He lost last year at WrestleMania. Granted, yeah, he became World Heavyweight Champion, but then he lost it at this WrestleMania. I don't see him beating Pat McAfee is gonna do nothing for him, but just to beat his chest and say, I tapped out a commentator. Now, if a commentator beats him, that make him look at himself a bit more differently. Then he can go off and come back and, you see what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to pivot for something in the future with this, because I don't see nothing coming out of him beating Pat McAfee. It's Pat McAfee, no offense.
I can't believe what I'm hearing right now. But before we get to that, BJK comes in. What the fuck is going on?
Man, what's good, bro? My guy.
He's 100% your guy, because I was like, he has a text on here. I don't want to put it.
Yeah, no, that's my guy right there. He likes to like dog me like for random ass shit. So
okay, I was like, because I don't want to put this thing up if he's like, if he's like,
no. He does that stuff all the time. He's done that since we've known each other like forever.
Because I was like, Jesus Christ, like, what is going on here? I was like, is there a rivalry brewing that just bled into you? Are we gonna see a Justin heel turn? Like, we just see the worst side of Justin here. Like this is time. But I'm sorry, though.
Just as an elimination chamber, man.
I'm telling you, man. But Teamster even comes through. Michael Cole is gonna interfere in one way or another. Appreciate you coming on. I would love to see that. Hey, man, I like his record. I like his wrestling record. So hey, might as well. BJK says it's gonna be Pat by way of distraction. He also says my concern for tonight is are we gonna see Jeff Cobb? Ooh, huge question.
His Backlash.
That's right.
It was somehow how people be debuting. We got Tonga Loa last year.
Oh yeah, we sure did, exactly. But even then, Justin, I mean, you pretty much heard me and Devin go back and forth. Is Devin on crack?
I mean, to be honest with you, after thinking about it while listening to Devin talk about it, I don't really know what Gunther gains from beating Pat. Like, what is, like, yes, right now, it's kind of feels like we're on this downward spiral for Gunther, which, honestly, I'm going to say it right now, and I hate saying it right now because it makes me kind of just want to be like, why did I say this? Honestly, I think this is going to lead to Goldberg next. We're going to get Gunther and Goldberg, and that's going to be where Gunther gets a win. Is when Goldberg's last matchup, he beats Goldberg. So honestly, I'm kind of agreeing with Devin a little bit now, because thinking about Pat continuing the downward spiral for Gunther, where, you know, now he's going to end up like, if we get Goldberg showing up and then Gunther has to be like, oh man, I just lost to Pat. I tapped out in like record speed to Jey Uso at WrestleMania, lost the world championship. my brain is not on this right now. But then it's like when he gets in there with Goldberg, he's got to be like, well, damn, Goldberg, you know how he could do it. He could beat me in like 5 seconds with a spear and a jackhammer, and I'm just basically laying up looking at the lights. What if that's when he gets the intensity turned up, where he's like, I'm just going to chop this man, beat the dog out of him. Like, I would love that, honestly. So right now, I'm kind of agreeing with Pat getting a win here. Just saying.
Am I on crack? I feel like I'm the crackhead here. I'm a crackhead.
He the one woke up. He the one woke up. See, you the one on crack. It's not me. You did it.
Right. I'm the one smoking crack, trying to explain why everybody else is on crack. Maybe that's the problem. Like, maybe I'm the problem. But like, look, I see where you guys are coming from, where Gunther gains absolutely nothing by just coming in and either beating the dog crap out of Pat McAfee and jobbing him out, or just beating him outright, whether Pat McAfee is competitive or not. Gunther doesn't gain a damn thing if he beats Pat McAfee. Besides looking at the ring and looking at the commentator table, yeah. You know, that's the past. You know, like that's pretty much all you get, you know, when you walk past them. But why does Pat McAfee need this win, though? Why do we need to continue this?
Why do we need the match?
Yes, why do we need the match? I agree with that.
This could be Karrion Kross versus Gunther. You see what I'm saying?
I would have been cool with that.
What I'm saying?
And if they would have won that Karrion Kross to win that, sure.
You see what I'm saying? And then I could still put Gunther on his downward spiral. You see what I'm saying? But we got to put Pat McAfee in there, which I understand. I don't want to be that person to be like, I hate Pat McAfee, but that's my point.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. Justin, you hurt me with this one. I don't know, man.
I'm telling you. I'm feeling it now. Like, I was very confident that Gunther was going to win this. But I don't know, after thinking about that and hearing Devin talk about it, and like, really, what does Gunther gain from this? Nothing. Like, the story is Gunther on a downfall right now, to the part where his big, like, recovery is going to be beating Goldberg. I think that makes a hell of a lot of sense, honestly.
I do want to see him beat Goldberg. Look, as long as he can destroy Goldberg, like as we saw Brock Lesnar do, and in one match, then I'll be okay with that. Sure. I'll compromise. BJK says I'll do the rocker spot to Justin through the barbershop window.
Would too.
he would too.
Yeah, he would too.
See, this is the thing. Yeah. Are you just a borderline heel? Are you just BJK? Are you just a big old heel? You just got no love for anything? Is that what it is? Teamster says Dev might be a blend of crack and meth. I don't know. He's spitting to a decent amount of people. Hey, BJK says maybe he's on shrooms. He says,
"How about you?"
Teamster says, I don't like how they're making Braun Breaker into Braunberg.
Braunberg.
He got the tattoo. He got the Goldberg tattoo.
He do. BJK says, I'm sensing some Ron Killings TNA heat between you boys.
See, and you know what's funny? I don't mean to cut you off. When I first loaded up that TNA game back in the day, they had they got like 5 matches on there. I guess that never was on whatever. The first person I see on there was Ron Killings, and that's when he first came to SmackDown, like in 08. So I'm like, or 09, one of the two. And I'm like, wait, I didn't know you was in TNA. So yeah, that's my Ron Killings TNA.
Team up with Adam Pac-Man Jones. That's what I'm talking about.
Adam Pac-Man Jones, they do a damn thing. That's what I remember.
Biggest waste of signing ever.
That was the only time I was like, you know what? I think that was the only TNA match I tuned in to try to watch. Because I was like, Pac-Man Jones, he used to play football. I was like, I know him. And I was like, Ron Killings, well, I mean, sure. Like, I was like, I've never seen this dude. He got a picture of Tupac. I was like, sure. I was like, he must be cool. Teamster says Cross needs a push. That's a fact. I mean, he's getting over on the mic. Doesn't even have to wrestle often. So circle of debate. Gunther will win, but Goldberg will appear for sure after I don't see him losing. Man. And we also get BJK coming in. I'm like Stone Cold. He was Kate Quick talking about R-Truth.
That's right.
Tagging with Road Dogg. That I do have a vivid picture of, a vivid image of.
3 Live Crew.
Because he was on Raw. I'm sorry, yeah, he debuted twice then. That's true. He was on Raw like way back in 2000 something. And I mean,
Road Dogg and Conan,
Conan.
Conan. I'm sorry, yeah. Conan.
3 Live Crew. And we talked about this match a little bit just a couple days ago because we talked about Becky Lynch fatigue and we talked about the potential of Lyra Valkyria. And now we get to see it on display. Becky Lynch taking on Lyra Valkyria, Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Justin, ball is in your court. Who do you have winning this match?
All right. So basically what we've gotten to so far, I like now. I didn't like the turn still. I still don't like how we rushed into that whole thing. Like the fact that you had Becky and Lyra win these tag team titles and at the expense of what you did to Bayley out of all things. Like the fact that it's basically, it's just a storyline way to write her off television because we didn't want her in the match, but yet we wanted her in the match, which makes no sense whatsoever. That's just straight up disrespectful to Bayley. And then you get this whole entire situation where, Lyra needs a partner. So let's call up Becky. We get the two of them where it's like, teacher and mentor and stuff like that. Like, I love that. That's great. Those two, after what happened in NXT, where Lyra took the NXT Women's Championship off of her. Fantastic. Love that. And now we get to go watch it run it back. The two of them together as a team. You had them win the tag team titles at WrestleMania. And then literally 24 hours after that, we get the Becky turn. Because why though? Like literally you put the titles back on Liv and Raquel and then Liv left for like a month to go film a movie. Like, so what was the point of that? Why did you rush into this? You could have waited until after Liv got done with that, put the titles back on them then, and then you could have done the turn. Something like that, just to build it up. A month build to that where the turn finally happens would have made sense. But even if you were going to do it immediately, it would have made a lot of sense if you would have actually had justification as to why Becky would have done it. Like you could have done it literally. I saw people saying you could have done the turn at WrestleMania, which would have made sense if you were going to do it, where Becky literally comes out and says the Monday after WrestleMania, where she stands out in the middle of the ring and goes, "You called me to be your tag team partner. I gave up the time to spend with my daughter to come here to be your tag team partner, and we couldn't even win the matchup." How much sense would that have made? That would have been perfect sense for her to justify this instead of them winning the tag team titles and then immediately just doing the turn the following night after they won the titles. It was just nonsense to me. But the way Becky has come out there and basically like been a straight up heel to the crowd, to Lyra, to every other woman, to Bayley, it's been really good because honestly, Lyra's promos have been really good the past couple like face-to-faces they've had with each other. And the crowd's starting to get behind her a little bit, which is good. That's what the gist of this needs to be, is this whole feud needs to get Lyra over. That's what this needs to be. I see this, and my prediction is this. I think Becky wins the Intercontinental Championship tonight. I think she wins the Intercontinental title. She goes on a run, and it kind of turns into like the Bianca Belair situation. As much as we didn't like the Bianca Belair situation where Becky came back at SummerSlam, beat her in like 6 seconds, won the championship, and we were all like, "Oh, you buried freaking Bianca. What is wrong with that?" Look what it did in the long run. It got Bianca over again, even though she was already over after the whole thing with Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. But I digress about that. They got her over with the whole Becky situation in the long run where she beat her at Mania. This needs to be another situation where after it needs to be, this is going to get Lyra over to where people are going to be behind her beating Becky and taking back the Intercontinental title. So I think we start that tonight with Becky winning the Intercontinental title.
Oh man, that's heavy. We also got BJK coming in. God, I'm fucking old. You see how you make people feel, Devin? This your fault, Devin.
You can't help it because he remembers K quick.
It was he said it. I was like, that show what his name was. Dang it. But with this match, I'm still holding on to the bits and pieces that led up to WrestleMania when Bayley was in this position. Because this could have been Lyra versus Bayley for the Intercontinental Championship, but that's on another reality. With this match, Justin, I ain't gonna lie, he's kind of swayed me to Becky winning because as much as like as you will see like a Becky Lynch coming back to squash a Bianca Belair at SummerSlam, and I remember initially feeling like, man, what kind of decision is that? Like she was already over at that time from when she won the Rumble, main evented with Sasha Banks. Like, what else did she need? But who would have thought that they would actually pay it off that following year? So maybe with Lyra and Becky, here's hoping if Becky is to win this match, and we have to have her go and kind of redeem herself like Bianca did. This could help her in terms of getting over more with the crowd. So I mean, if that's what it takes, I'm willing to give Becky Lynch this win. If there's a bigger plan here.
Huge shout out to the deal. He says Lyra has all the in-ring tools, but she'll never get over until she improves on the mic.
Yes.
And although I do agree with Justin that her mic skills has improved, for the last couple weeks. Yeah, I do agree that it can improve a little bit. It's just the fact of Becky Lynch is really good on the mic. There was a point in time where, look, I know Justin doesn't want to hear this. Look, Charlotte is my GOAT. I love me some Charlotte Flair. But I can also admit that Charlotte Flair was getting dog walked on the mic during a promo with Becky Lynch. There was nobody in the women's division at a point in time that could touch Becky Lynch on the mic. So yeah, exactly. But the one thing I do like is that Lyra Valkyria just isn't getting dog walked. She isn't getting embarrassed. She isn't the big dog Roman Reigns looking into the eyes of John Cena, stuttering. Like it isn't like nothing like that. Where I'm just trying to pick up. But it's like, but it was like
I just didn't know where he was going with it. First, I'm like, oh, she ain't Roman, okay. She ain't stuttering. I'm like, wait a minute.
but yeah, like she's not, it's not to the point where Lyra Valkyria is just like embarrassing herself. She can handle her own. I'm not freaking out when she has a microphone in her hand. So I do think that's the best part. In this match, however, I want Lyra Valkyria to win. I do want her reign to last a little bit longer. Right now, it's just been not really a whole lot going on. Even though the matches that has been had, with Dakota Kai, with Ivy Nile, have been solid, we just haven't seen too much, and there hasn't been a backbone to a story yet. But besides what's happening here with her and Becky, we've only seen maybe 2 or 3 weeks of it so far. So now with this whole thing going on, I do want Lyra Valkyria to win. I do want her to go over on Becky Lynch, and I do want to see her at least make this a little bit more entertaining of a run for her. And at least if she loses, I want her to at least go for a world championship run, at least, or at least Finn for the world championship race at some point in time. A huge shout out to my boy Stavo. Yo, we back. Yo, Stavo has been my boy in Arizona, as even going back from the radio station days, going to TV station, and then just going to on the basketball court. I'm telling you, my man's jump shot is nice. Don't meet him on the basketball court. He will do that to you. Huge shout out to Stavo. Love you, brother. Always got to give my man's a whole lot of love. One person that we do got to give a whole lot of love to is Dominic Mysterio, because that man has just been so awesome since turning his back on Rhea Ripley. Well, not even that. I can go back. I could go back prior. I think he's been awesome since Rhea Ripley wrapped her legs around this man's throat. That's right. How cool. He has been that cold. Since that day, he has been the man. That was when I knew Dominic Mysterio had that dog in him.
But my mind immediately hear you say that, and she's just literally, and all I thought was the fucking song from Mulan with freaking "I'll Make a Man Out of You."
I'm telling you,
choked her with his little legs, and she was just like, "Someday I'll make a man out of you."
That was the start.
He says, "I'm telling you," and Dominic Mysterio's like gasping for he's dying in the legs of Rhea Ripley. It's like. We saw some classic stuff between them two that also led to, him and Liv Morgan. This man has been hitting home runs after home runs for a while, hitting home run after home run for a while, and now he's champion. And Penta, of course, who has made a real spark, in his debut in WWE and has done a lot. The walk has been so fire. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. But between the two, Justin, who do you have? Really quick, I'm sorry. A Teamster, AZ represent. Yeah, of course, we got some AZ love there. Justin, who do you have?
See, now this is like what, the third time I think Dom and Penta have had a matchup against each other, and this is like the second time they've had the Intercontinental title on the line with it. So honestly, this is gonna sound crazy. Like, first off, Dom's reaction when he won the Intercontinental title, and that crowd in Vegas all behind him when he won that title, and they just popped like maniacs to see Dom do it. Like, honestly, I was never big on Dom. Like, originally when he was with Ray, I was like, all right, cool. I could get behind him a little bit, but I wasn't like fully invested in Dom. But then like Judgment Day stuff, I was with it for a while, but then after a while, the Judgment Day got super freaking, overplayed, and they started just being shoved down on TV too much. And every single segment involved the Judgment Day appearance. It was like, oh, even when the Judgment Day isn't involved with something, we got to have them involved with this because apparently Judgment Day. So all that happened, and then we have like Dom joined Judgment Day, which I thought was still crazy to look back at, and then the evolution of him has been honestly great. I'm now saying that I am on board with Dominic Mysterio. I think he's a fantastic heel. And again, I was happy to see him win the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania, but like at this point, I think we're swapping the title tonight. I think you swap the title tonight, because why would you just keep putting Penta in these situations to lose at this point? Now I think about it too, especially because Finn's going to probably play a part in this. Finn should play a part in this, especially after what we saw on Monday Night Raw with him talking to Roxanne. He is basically going to end up recruiting Roxanne and Julia, and then JD McDonough is going to end up leaving them, and we're going to get a Judgment Day versus whatever stable we're going to get out of, with Finn and Roxanne and Julia as a thing, which would be great in the long run. But I think this is how, honestly, you get the Intercontinental title out of that situation. You don't want that just being suffocated inside of this double faction feud going on. So you take it off of Dom. And I don't see why would you have Penta lose again? I don't see why you'd have him lose again. If you made this matchup official, it feels like you're telling everybody you're swapping the title tonight. So I think we got a new Intercontinental champion tonight. Penta's got the belt tonight.
It's like I'm ready for Penta to win. I really am. I don't know. I don't know if it's tonight. And there's no offense to like anything building up to it. And I'm almost swaying with getting the IC championship out of any type of Judgment Day dissension, or however they split off into another faction. I don't know. I feel like I see Dominic retaining in some dirty way, no pun intended. I don't see it tonight. I don't see Penta, winning it tonight. I see it happening. It's just not for Backlash. It's the one time I can't let the boss sway me.
Right, I'm telling you.
Resist.
Like, you guys have been spot on. I'm telling you, it's hard
That one was tough.
to disagree,
tough.
but I still got to disagree, because I still just don't. I just don't want to see any of you guys' predictions come true. At least so far. Stavo says, Teamster, word up. We're talking about some AZ represent. Of course, you know the deal. Weird spot for Penta. He shouldn't lose here, but Dirty Dom needs to have a serious run with the IC belt. Definitely agree. A huge shout out to Devin, the Tribal Chief. What's good, my brother? Love to see you and love to have you, brother. We definitely appreciate you, and we definitely got to talk to have you on pretty soon as well, because we had a whole lot of fun with you as well. Stavo says, I like Penta since the Lucha Underground days, back with Johnny Nitro, Johnny Morrison, Johnny Mundo. What's his name on that show? Y'all remember Lucha Underground? Look.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I didn't watch it a lot, but I remember it though.
I used to always see highlights, and I was like, what the hell is this? Yeah. Why are we fighting women? Like, I was like, what is going on here?
Wild. We had intergender, we had death matches, we had death. Like literal death on television, like literal death. We watched Brian Cage punch a cop's head off and then step on his eyeball. Like, bro, let's go.
Literal, legit, pretty much suicide dives that you saw pretty much a lot from these guys. It looked like absolute madness. And although I didn't see it in his
Art of War
prime,
match with friggin' Killshot, A.K.A. Swerve Strickland, and Dante Fox, A.R. Fox, whichever one you want to call
AR,
him.
yeah. That's his. Didn't he train him, or was that was that some backstage lore, background lore that I heard on AEW?
He might have actually trained him. I'm not 100% sure though.
Because I seen they had a match. Yeah, I was like, I seen that. Yeah, I was like, I seen a match between them two on AEW, and I think what's the man, Excalibur mentioned something along the lines of that, and I was like, huh? And I was like, but AR Fox don't look that old, but he's like, what? He's touching 40, right?
Yeah, he's up there, honestly.
Yeah, so I was like, but then again, that's pretty much your prime in wrestling stage, in wrestling age. It's pretty much your prime at that point. Look at Roman. I was like, look at a lot of these guys. AJ and Finn need reform the Bullet Club. This is coming from Teamster. Ooh, I don't mind that.
Man, is AR Fox is 37.
37. Yep. I was like, okay,
there you go.
He got 3 years left. 3 years left for the Walker. Needs to come. Not just playing. I was like, 40 is not old of an age. 40 is not old. You know the deal, says Penta getting unmasked tonight. All right, I don't that's happening. I think that's crazy.
That's wild.
I feel like it was AEW that might happen.
Right. I do think AJ and Finn reforming the Bullet Club is interesting. Have you seen AJ walk up to the Judgment Day, almost have a stroke, asking for an Intercontinental Championship match?
Sometimes you just get your words stammered, man.
He was like, I'm coming for that. Wow.
He probably was like, I can't believe I'm saying this right now, bro.
I'm just so flustered. I was eating and I was like, whoa. I was like, you okay, bro?
Like, think about how many places AJ has been. He's been to TNA, Japan. Like, I mean, he done seen so many championships. You know, you get your words mixed up when you see so many. Like, yeah, see? So cut him some slack. The phenomenal one. How dare you?
I could have looked at the Twitter guy.
I am.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
First ballot Hall of Fame. That's a fact. Look, and we need to see some TNA clips and highlights at his Hall of Fame speech as well.
They'll do it now.
Yes. I was like, we got to see the highlights.
I'm not gonna lie. If WWE could do the craziest thing ever and get Joe and Daniels to go to like a WWE Hall of Fame and induct him, that'd be bonkers.
That would be sick, honestly. And it all depends on where they're at too. Well, hopefully Samoa Joe is holding an AEW championship pretty soon as well. But we could get into that pretty soon too. I do have Dominic Mysterio winning this match. I never said that. I got Dominic Mysterio winning. The main reason being is because I love me Dominic Mysterio. I think it's too early for him to lose the belt just yet. And I do want to see him versus Finn for this IC title. Right now, Dominic Mysterio, he's getting a little bit bolder. You know, Finn Balor's like, hey man, handle like Dominic Mysterio's like, hey man, Finn Balor, handle my lightweight. You know, handle AJ Styles. And Finn Balor's like, what do you think I am? You know, you think I'm just some, you know, who do you think I am? You know, and so you're seeing a little bit of tension there. Finn Balor's usually getting hot at Dominic Mysterio with the quickness, and then he usually plays it off as if he's joking. But you see the ominous stare down to the IC title, you know, Young and the Restless style. You know, so I love how this is faring off between the two. I want to see this further. I do want to see them beef for the title. I do think it will happen, which is why I have Dominic Mysterio winning against Penta, and Penta will be just fine.
You know what his celebration is going to be at the end of this? He's going to McDonald's and getting them brand new McCrispy tender things.
Tendies, man. He got to. I forgot who mentioned his win at WrestleMania. The best thing about that was after he won, you know, he goes on the turnbuckle, he celebrates, he rolls out the ring, he gets his shirt and just chucks it at Penta, just a bitch.
That makes me feel. Like, who the dirty one now?
Right. Like, it was awesome that he walked back in and celebrated again, but screw that. That was my favorite part. He just grabbed his shirt. Take this up, loser. Take this up, but honestly, I hope we see that again, because now we're looking at a fatal another fatal four-way match of our own. Well, I hope we get to see another church shucking. There it goes. Church shucking. There it goes. I couldn't get it out. But we have a fatal four-way match for the United States Championship between Damian Priest, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Jacob Fatu. I'm assuming Devin is going to be at the crib. Me and Devin are going to be watching Backlash together. We're going to see if we can hook up our system so we can get on with Circle of Debate. We'll let you know more on that information, Justin, and also we'll plug that a little bit more later as well. But
Yeah,
the fatal 4-way match, I'm assuming Devin gonna come through with his Jacob Fatu sweatshirt, which is why I gotta ask Devin, why is Jacob Fatu winning this match for you today?
We want to know why he's gonna win. Exactly. We want to know why. I mean, because he already told you. It don't matter if you put 1, 2, 3. He gonna dog walk their ass. So I don't want to hear it. I already know he told me what he was gonna do, so I'm just gonna watch it happen. You know, I'm sorry, Drew. You know what, Drew? You cool, but it ain't your time right now. Damian Priest, you the one gonna take the pin. No offense. LA Knight, yeah. Yeah, that I mean. That's all I got to say. So Jacob Fatu for the win.
But I will give you $3. I got $3 in my wallet. I'll give you $3 if LA Knight takes the pin instead of Damian Priest. My guess is LA Knight.
Okay. I got Damian Priest. No offense to him. You know what? Yeah, I'm standing on it.
We betting on losers here today.
I'm staying on it.
Yeah.
Justin, your thoughts on the fatal 4-way?
This honestly could be a banger. It's still a little bizarre that, like, literally Drew McIntyre continues to be right because he said it last night on SmackDown. Why is LA Knight in this match? He lost at WrestleMania. Why is Damian Priest in this match? He lost at WrestleMania, to me, of all things. Like, the fact that those two are in the matchup is bizarre. I still don't even get what their little beef is with each other right now. Like, it just seems like they threw that at the wall and just said, oh, now LA Knight and Damian Priest just don't like each other. Why is that? Oh, because that's why. Exactly. Like, it just feels like they just like threw it together and said, let's just make everybody try to believe that they don't like each other. And it's just awkward, if I should say. But it's like, here's Jacob Fatu. The guy is like literally over at this point. Or like, the crowd loves him. They see him come out. They watch him just beat up people. He does some crazy stuff like he does. And everyone just gets hyped because the man he's literally got that cool factor. Jacob Fatu is the man. Legitimately the man. Like, I'm telling you, this run with the US title is going to be insane. I don't see him losing this tonight at all because I think with the story with Solo right now, with Solo kind of being like, I don't know, like I just maybe I'm just not with you no more kind of situation. Like, you could see kind of some tension between the two of them more and more every week. And honestly, Jacob Fatu, with the way he gets those reactions, that man should be a babyface at this point. So I'd be with it, but I would rather them not take the title off him and involve that in the Solo feud. I would rather them keep that right there. I do, though, think that this is the reason why Damian Priest is in this match, is to eat the pin. I think Priest is eating the pin. And I can't like say other than that because LA Knight, you know, yes, he's lost a bunch of matches before, but he's still over right now. Drew McIntyre, even though he's supposed to be a heel, he's a truthful heel. He's actually been right about a lot of situations, and the crowd loves him. Damian Priest, I don't know what's happening with Damian Priest. That man literally went from like Judgment Day getting booed to babyface world champion to just floating around doing nothing, and now all of a sudden the crowd just doesn't like him anymore, which is very, very bizarre. But again, I think that's why he's in this match, is to eat the pin, and Jacob's going to end up retaining that because he is the real tribal chief as far as I'm concerned. That man is the tribal chief right there. The best in-ring like member of the Anawati family is Jacob Fatu as far as I'm concerned.
Oh man, Devin, any pushback from that?
No, why would I be pushing back?
Because you're the Anawati family guy. Like, I feel like you would.
Hey,
no breaks. You know what I mean?
But wait, all respect and everything to Roman, but do you be seeing Roman jump up to them ropes and do a backflip like that? No,
I don't see him do anything. I see him at home.
You see what I'm saying? I was trying to keep it in the ring.
I don't see him
in
at
the
all.
ring. Yeah, I don't see him at all. He's always on his butt.
He
I don't see him in the ring.
Cena's gimmick. You can't see him.
Cena's gimmick. Cena had to change his whole gimmick for this year.
So all I'm saying, I had no pushback with what Justin said. I'm in the background going, yeah.
And honestly, I think we can all agree it's a shame that we haven't seen this sooner. You know, granted, with everything that he's been throughout his career, you know, I think it's just a shame that we haven't seen Jacob Fatu sooner, at least with a WWE or a big exposure, you know, to this caliber. Ivan, the devious one, Fatu, baby, that's my boy right there. Also says, preach it,
man.
Right, yeah, preach it, Devin, preach it, Oos. He also got, you know the deal. Fatu about to stack them all for the pin. The dude is a future Mania main event guy.
That's bro.
Definitely agree with that. It's just a matter of time till Jacob Fatu. I mean, you're seeing how great this is turning out to be for a lot of these guys to transfer over from the mid card to the main main card itself. As you saw with Gunther, you know, even though we were pissed that he lost to Sami Zayn, we didn't even care, you know, months later, you know, it didn't really matter right after that. And I could definitely see Jacob Fatu following in those footsteps. Whoever he loses to is going to do big and it's going to do great things for the person that he puts over. But at the end of the day, yeah,
he gonna dog walk there.
Yeah, I was like, whoever's going,
no breaks.
When he said that, that's when I was like, oh, he all right. Because at first I was like, dang, he gonna go against all of them.
It's just a matter of time till, you know, the words of Jey Uso, you know, come to light. Why did you bring these guys over, you know, to Solo Sikoa? Why did you bring these hoodlums, these hooligans, the delinquents? Why'd you bring these thugs over here, including Jacob Fatu? You know, there's a reason why we didn't bring these guys over here, and Solo finna learn pretty soon why you should have just kept them at home. And he learned right there when he became United States Championship. You lost your shine, brother. As soon as Jacob Fatu entered WWE, nobody gave a damn about Solo Sikoa anymore. Man, well, I feel like they stopped caring a little bit more after, you know, he tried to become the tribal chief, and a lot of people weren't really buying it. You know, a lot of people really weren't. So at least in terms of fan reaction, a lot of people weren't really sold on it. It seemed like.
Listen, people would have believed more that freaking Tonga can't Loa Bloa is more of the tribal chief than Solo Sikoa. Like, come on.
Honestly, like at this point in time, like you got a great point at this because he disappeared too. Can't Loa Blow. That's crazy.
You remember that night when he did that? He tried to do the low blow and he literally just like punched fucking somebody in the butt cheek and then fucking just like, shit, I missed, and then tried it again. It was like, this man can't fucking do a low blow.
What do you gotta do?
What do you gotta do? You guys, you guys also seen him drag Cody to the turnbuckle, but he like missed. He like hit him on the ropes. It's like, brother, like you can see where you're going. Like you can see.
Tonga Loa, the comedic one, and this the whole entire thing outside of freaking Tama Tonga doing.
I love it, man. I love it, and I love this blood. I love this new and improved what this Bloodline 2.0 that we were seeing. You know, I love every bit of it. Except Solo. You know, Solo's the only one that's just pretty much been the odd man out of this whole thing. But I do
figure it out.
He will figure it out. Like I don't think
he got more comedic side in him. That's why
he's funny. I got tickets. That always kills me. I say that every time. Like I feel like
general like smile on his face and happiness in his voice. So just be like, I got tickets, man. Like,
right. Almost need call.
Like I just feel like we was gonna be like that at the Royal Rumble. Like, your tickets aren't working. No, I got tickets. Like, look at them. Like, I got tickets. I swear.
Seats for me right here.
Right here. Me and my boy. Like that's why one of the reasons why I have Jacob Fatu win is because he's gonna go on on a steamroll of a run. I don't think he's gonna go on the likes of a Gunther run with this United States title, but I do think it will come somewhat close. And in his great words, yeah, he's gonna dog walk a whole lot of people's asses. Asses will get dog walked. So we definitely got exactly. Listen, this is gonna be fun, a whole lot of fun. I was trying to see if I forgot anything, but I don't think I have. So I think it's time for the main event between John Cena and Randy Orton in St. Louis, Randy Orton's hometown. Justin, the pressure is on. Who do you have?
Oh, honestly, I hope this matchup delivers. Flat out, I hope it delivers because I know when it comes to Cena and Orton, they are like maybe 60-40 more like 60% not really had a lot of good matches together, but 40% they've had some pretty good matches like overall. Like they're up there in age right now. We get it. They're definitely not. It's going to be a difficult one to really believe that this match is going to be something like super like competitive, and has Randy just basically going to get a lot of the offense while Cena just sells, and then here comes the big Cena comeback, and then it's Randy's doing like rest spots like crazy when he does his chin locks. That's going to be ridiculous. Like I said, I hope the match delivers. I enjoyed the build, even though all we've gotten was promos. Like they could have done anything else, but they gave it. This is basically what they could give us in 2 weeks. But honestly, the promos have been great. The face-to-face they had was great, with Cena basically saying, "I'm going to wipe you out of the entire Orton lineage and everything," and then basically like the face-to-face with the little kid flipping him off, and he's just like, a 6-year-old just flipped me off. How classy! And I'm like, Cena is a freaking absolute savage when he's a heel, and I kind of love it. Like, I know a few people that are not big on the Cena heel turn because of how we got here, where we stand right now. The heel turn feels a little too late, the way they described it, because literally Cena was getting cheers from everybody for the longest time, like for like the past 3-4 years, maybe even longer than that, before, like, if you were going to turn him heel, the time when he was getting the mixed reactions, or when he was actually getting booed most of the time, was the time to turn him heel. But this one, again, was still a huge heel turn, because look at that, where you could still look back at this, like that heel turn at Elimination Chamber, and go, oh my God, Cena actually went through with it. He actually did it. And I enjoyed it. I just didn't like their WrestleMania match with Cody because of the ending. I thought the matchup itself was fine, but the ending was terrible because Travis Scott. And I get they're trying to make what they can out of it, which, again, I know it sounds like I'm trying to defend it. I enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it so far, the heel turn. It's basically just come down to Cena's going to have this little bit of a run as a heel. He's eventually going to, drop the WWE title, and then he's going to turn back babyface, and he's going to go out with a big freaking hoorah, as a babyface, which makes all the sense in the world right now. But the matchup right now is my one main concern, and how they're going to do it, because I've seen people say, well, R-Truth's going to get involved in this whole situation. And I'm like, oh God, if Truth gets involved in this, I don't know if I'm intrigued or just going to go, ugh, why? And I get it. It's the whole dynamic of, that's my childhood hero. And then I think of Jimmy Uso talking about, you guys are basically the same age. You're even older than he is. And how is he your childhood hero? Like, I get it. They're trying to flip a story, even though the face-to-faces and the interactions they've had in Cena's promos have been fantastic. Randy's was even good, where he cut the one by himself. Just, it's iffy, but I don't see Cena losing this championship. Not yet. I said, like I just said before, we're going to get to the part where Cena's going to eventually drop it. He's going to turn babyface. He's going to go out with a big, celebration and a hoorah and everything else. And, then go in the Hall of Fame, more than likely. But it's just not that time right now. We got to just keep enjoying right now what's the heel Cena we're getting right now. And I can say I have enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to what's going to come after it. But just the dynamic now being flipped of Orton being the babyface, Cena being the heel, but normally we've seen it the opposite way for like years on end, has been the most interesting part of it. But now to see it flipped is just going to be like, St. Louis is going to absolutely just get at Cena. And it's going to be great, because he's going to get some crazy like absolutely bonkers chants tonight. They're probably going to censor him, like the crowd, like 50 times tonight, because they'll be probably chanting F you Cena and everything else. But just when Randy starts getting on a run in this matchup, I can see that crowd just going absolutely ballistic for him. I'm excited, but I'm also kind of worried that the match is going to underdeliver. And how are they going to get to this? But Cena definitely retains here.
I see no way that Randy wins this, because to me, it just there's no, I can't. So John Cena's gonna retain. And look, I had no problem with his heel turn. I think, I can, try to erase everything that led up to it out of my head. because I'm like he gonna make the best out of what it is right now. And like this, just the dynamics of seeing it. Like I watched John Cena and Randy Orton, just John Cena as the face and Randy Orton as the heel for years. So like to finally see it's on the other side, I wish they could have more time to build it. Why John Cena can't go and start punk kicking people that Randy Orton care about? You know what I'm saying? He could get some brass knuckles and beat, he Randy handcuffed or something. I'm gonna knock him out. Something. He could go to his house and do stuff to him. And not only that, he could go and lay him on the stage and try to blow him up with the pyrotechnics. I was there for all of that. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
like,
see
what do
why.
you want to see here? And it was like, what do you want to
I
see?
seen it to get his get back because I seen Randy Orton terrorize this man, almost kill him. So look, now the shoe, the shoe on the other side. I want John Cena to get his get back. So if this is what we got to start at Backlash, and also on that point, I do agree with R-Truth being involved because I'm telling you, the real heel turn for John Cena is when he beat up R-Truth. Not that I want to see that. Not that I want to see that, but I know, some sacrifices got to be made. Because think about it, R-Truth been all this time talking about, oh, I love John Cena. That's my superhero. Yeah, I watch it every Saturday morning on the television. And, even like last year at the WrestleMania, remember when it was R-Truth and The Miz when they won the Raw Tag Team Championships after that ladder match? Who came out with them? Randomly, John Cena. So,
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
tag
it's just,
match.
that was a little throwaway match, but my point being, we see R-Truth out there, yeah, John Cena, yeah, and John Cena look at him like, and I don't know what he's gonna do next. That's gonna be the true heel turn.
I think that's
So
tough.
John Cena for the win to continue this great heel run he hit. No,
I think that's so
it's good.
tough.
I won't call it great yet.
Well, the deal says Travis Scott about to punt kick Orton tonight. Cena has to win dirty.
Man.
I do think Cena has to win dirty. He also says with a short card tonight, is there a chance The Rock shows? I feel he has some. There has to be some surprise ending. And a huge shout out to Lauren. Ayo, guys, what's good? How are you living? Good to see you. Look, honestly, I'm in the same direction that Just is in right now, where I'm like, crap, what match are we gonna get here? Cena isn't gonna be taking a whole lot of defense. Randy's injured ass ain't gonna be taking a whole lot of offense. Both parties I think are. Well, Randy's more injury prone than Cena is. Cena's more Hollywood than Orton is. I think this match is gonna be so SAWFT. I think it's gonna be so soft, man. Softer than Charmin Ultra soft. Like it's gonna be really bad. And so, with that being said, what is gonna happen? I think there is going to be an ending that is going to, as like WrestleMania. There's going to be an ending that's gonna overlook the match itself. Not saying that a lot of people see the WrestleMania match between John Cena and Cody Rhodes as a huge classic, but John Cena won. History was made. That's all we focused on outside of the match. Is there going to be an ending towards here that is gonna make us forget about this whole match, or are they gonna put on a bang? Or are they gonna put on a banger? I'm expecting a mediocre match. I'm still expecting John Cena to win. If we do get an R-Truth surprise entrant, if we see him come through and have a surprise ending with R-Truth, I do want to see him spit a fire promo. R-Truth can talk his ass off. Whether it's a confused R-Truth or heelish R-Truth or a smoking cigarette R-Truth, I want to see a ballistic R-Truth. I want to see something dastardly coming from this man because I do think, although he might not be wrestling a whole lot, I do think he has a whole lot in the tank to be a great speaker and to be somebody that could be in the forefront of something pretty good. Or we could see Dwayne Johnson. We've heard Dwayne Johnson run his mouth a whole lot. We don't know what he has going on. Hell, he doesn't even know what he has going on or what's going on with Dwayne Johnson in this storyline. So, honestly, I'm expecting John Cena to win, and I'm expecting something huge to happen. Lauren says, no, Orton about to punt kick Travis fuckboy Scott.
He's actually kind of great.
I'll be ready for it. I'm ready. Or at least a spike DDT off the ropes.
Just give him the RKO. Just do it. Just Travis Scott come out there with
the just give him the RKO.
Just see Travis Scott come out there with the title. He starts getting ready to go all hype and everything. Like, I'm gonna get him. And then just like Randy just gets him. I'll be like, you can't outwit a Viper.
Right, exactly. Give us something. Anything outside of Travis Scott getting in the office here, like we don't need that. But like, just have him get beat up. We just need an ass kicking. from here. There was a topic that I was going to bring up yesterday that we promoted as well that I completely just didn't talk about that I want to run through just really, really quickly because of course it was brought up just recently again. It's not something that I think is too crazy. You know, it's not something that I think is something that a guy should be taking a lot of heat for, but I do think it's something that is really, really fun to get at and something that was fun to talk about as well. Because of course, Will Ospreay is making headlines, and I won't necessarily call this tribalistic. I would say it's pretty confident. You know, I would say it's more so confidence. My worst day, I'm better than a lot of the guys in ring, referring to WWE guys. So he came out, of course. Let me see, of course, put more fuel to the flame. During an interview with the Daily Star in the UK, Ospreay, in a series of quotes that are given, that are akin to giving Haku what is this even? What is this sentence? You guys read this sentence in a series of quotes that are akin to giving Haku a wedgie. What? Like, in front of a full of people due to the reaction. They are going to detonate, sounded off the current WWE product and how he thought it was lame when he was a teenager, which I do think that's kind of cap. But his quote goes on to say, I think deep down, we know WWE is a machine and an animal. They are in giant stadiums and are doing so good. A lot of people look at us and think we're doing it wrong because WWE is doing this, which I mean, there's some truth to that. No, I'm saying there's some truth to what he's saying. Like, he's not wrong. No, there are a lot of different ways of doing it. I got into WWE when I was a kid, but when I became a teenager, I thought it was lame. There were certain guys I enjoyed, like Eddie Guerrero, Edge, Randy Orton is sick. After a while, I was like, this is so pantomiming. People would go, especially coming up in wrestling, less is more. Is it? I'm bored. It's the same stuff recycled over and over again. Every now and again, you get something cool like the CM Punk pipe bomb promo. Okay, WWE is on fire, but not even as a viewer, as a wrestler, I just don't enjoy it. I haven't watched Mania. From what I've heard, it wasn't the best Mania. Maybe Io, Rhea, and Bianca was the only sick match. The three of them are sick. They are the three best wrestlers, period. For me, I was just never a WWE guy. I respected it and respected the guys doing it. The schedule is crazy, and they are commendable for doing it. So, of course, the number one thing that was ran was that I don't like WWE, for Will Ospreay. Of course, there were some positives throughout it all. But, Justin, your thoughts on Will Ospreay's comments and, of course, not necessarily the backlash, but just the fan reaction behind it.
So, looking at what he said here, like, I'm not going to, like, judge Will Ospreay because of this. Like, if he does not ever want to go to WWE, then that's on him. Then that's him. And you know what? Fine. I'm not going to judge him if he doesn't want to go whatsoever. But he's, listen, TK, Tony, listen, RTK right here.
Yeah.
He's talked about like the same thing. This same thing kind of goes with Kenny Omega. Why is Kenny Omega basically never gone to WWE? He had all these opportunities to, and even just recently, before even AEW, he had the opportunity to go to WWE. It's the place where you get to make your memories, make your moments, make yourself a massive star. It shows how much of an elevation you've been when you go to WWE. Will Ospreay is honestly, it almost feels like it stems from the thing with Triple H, with the whole like comment that he made during an interview where he talked about, if you're not willing to put the work in, then we're not going to try to sign you. Like that right there, I feel like still bugs Will Ospreay. I feel like in a gist of it, Will Ospreay feels like that was targeted at him, and he still kind of feels like that's kind of like really rubbed him the wrong way to the point where he might say basically he will not go to WWE. When Ospreay should really be focusing on one day going to WWE. I don't know why he wouldn't. Like, yes, Will Ospreay, when he talks about, he's the best, in ring, like AEW has the best in ring like product compared to WWE. Yes, that is honestly true. I've seen better AEW in ring matches than I have WWE matches. Honestly, like AEW does some amazing in ring work sometimes. WWE does it with in-ring work and story. AEW, for some reason, just has this issue of not telling stories or not continuing stories or just really putting out some really bad stinkers. Honestly, they just they put the focus more on the in-ring talent, like the more in-ring aspect, and that's fine. But after a while, you see what's going on with their audience. The more and more you're not telling enough stories. People, wrestling fans, have been so accustomed to basically, yes, the in-ring stuff is fine, but if you want to give me something that involves, you know, a story behind it and you want to get me intrigued, that's another thing that can keep the viewer in there. And then as where AEW stands right now, they continuously lose viewers. They're losing some of their like originals. They're losing some of their, you know, like newer fans from even wanting to tune in because they're not giving us stories. And Ospreay just, you know, he's always been in the conversation of being the best in-ring guy, you know, the best wrestler in the world today. He's always in that conversation, whether he is the number one or he's like always number two somehow. He's always in that conversation. And I will never say that Will Ospreay is not an in-ring guy that's not freaking phenomenal, because he is phenomenal. He's fantastic. The kid, I've seen the evolution of him from a young guy to where he's at now. He's just, the elevation has just been like rapid, and it's been up there. He's always going to be up there now in that conversation, but just it did kind of come off a little tribalistic. The fact that he just feels like he's so dedicated to waving the AEW banner that it's just WWE is a no-go for him. And like I said, I'm not going to be that guy and say, okay, cool, like you messed up. You know, if you don't want to ever go to WWE, then that's your decision. I'm not going to judge your decision. But if Ospreay legitimately ever wants to be remembered as somebody, instead of like where people are going to always remember, I remember Will Ospreay, I remember these amazing matches, I remember these amazing stories he would tell, he has to go to WWE. He has to have that urge to go to WWE, because that is the place to go if you want to be remembered. Honestly, AEW, I'll say it flat out, I don't think you'll be remembered if AEW ever shut its doors. People will not be remembered unless you go to a place where you know you will be remembered. WWE is that place. You can make moments, you make history, you can make whatever you want to over there, and everybody will go, man, look, just when they travel back and rewatch some stuff, like when they're watching old pay-per-views or old anything, they'll go, I remember that. I remember those Will Ospreay moments. I remember when he did this. I remember that name. I will always remember that name because he was one of the best in-ring guys ever. But he went out there, and I remember that amazing story he told. I remember like everything. Like I said, I'm not going to judge him. If he wants to do what he wants to do, let him do it. But it could end up being the same kind of situation with Kenny Omega. If he never goes to WWE, he's another one. Will he be remembered if he ever has to hang it up? And that's the part where, you know, will he regret his decision? That's all up to him.
Even when I was reading it, it came across, if you're gonna do tribalism, and I'm not trying to advocate for somebody who do it, you know, at least he was like, you know, WrestleMania, I didn't watch it, but you know, that after that, I'm like, well, you shouldn't say anything else. If you didn't see it, you don't know what happened. You know, anybody can say, oh, it was terrible, oh, it was great, because everybody, if you watched it, you can form your own opinion. And for him to say, like, you know, that's their stuff, I respect that. But you know, and you could tell, I feel like I agree with Justin as well with the Triple H comment from last year about, like, you know, running from the, you know, grind of the schedule. Even like, you know, hey, I don't know how they do that with their schedule, but I commend them. You know what I mean? It's the thing is, when I always see like people, I'm the best, you know, in the world, I'm the best wrestler, period. And I'm like, well, you know, I put it like this: if you're gonna be the best, and I'm like looking at all these different areas, shouldn't I be the best in like all them areas? If I'm gonna call myself the best in the world, I'm just saying. So I'm like, if like a Kenny Omega, I'm like, why wouldn't you go to WWE if you had a chance one time to see, you know, how you match up against, you know, Roman Reigns at the time? We'll never know if you never go. Will Ospreay as well. We'll never see Will Ospreay matching up with Seth Rollins if he doesn't go. I don't see Seth Rollins coming to AEW. You know, so that's my standpoint. I'm like, them saying I don't want to go to WWE. That's not my style. That's not this and that. I'm like, give it a, never know. Why won't you just give it a shot?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, if you're gonna, it was to me the most respectable tribalism. So
Respectable tribalism.
Respectable tribalism. I like that.
Lauren says punt kick RKO coil drops. Travis fuckboy Scott and fuckboy Cena as well. She says, man, WrestleMania 41 was man. And like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy the stream. Appreciate you so much. Definitely gonna give you that subscribe back as soon as we also as soon as I get YouTube up as well. I'm on another YouTube channel that I gotta get out of in a little bit. But even with that, with Will Ospreay, I my favorite narrative with a lot of people with wrestling, when people have a comment about another promotion or company, you're burning bridges. You're burning a bridge. There is no such thing as burning a bridge in the wrestling industry. Like Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. Like there's so many people that you could potentially see back because it's number one is either A, best for business, or number two, time heals all. So at the end, like they said that about Javon Evans, why are you burning a bridge? Brother, you ain't burning a bridge. If you get released at the hottest time of your career, say Javon Evans wins a couple championships, per se, Tony Khan will give that man a phone call if it's best for business, and vice versa. Will Ospreay, if you ever become a free agent, WWE would definitely give you some. You could negotiate a Roman Reigns contract if you wanted to, if your skills, which I do think he does have the necessary skill set. I do think Will Ospreay is the man, but you can negotiate your schedule, if you would like. Not saying you're Mercedes Moné, but you could definitely do some damage there in WWE if you would like. So I don't think nobody's burning a bridge here, but I do think Will Ospreay at this point, I think you need to just move on from the situation. There's a difference between Will Ospreay and Seth Rollins in terms of how they talk about their promotions. Seth Rollins does take his pot shots at AEW, but he says it and moves on. He says it and that's it. He doesn't talk about it more often. He doesn't hound on the fact. He just moves on. Will Ospreay, he has at least 4 to 5 interviews back to back. This is talking about the situation, and it's like, brother, like we understand, and like Justice said, but that comment from Triple H about running from the grind hurt him so much, and you could tell because he had a promo about it, and he's talked about Triple H on numerous occasions, and he's pretty much how Cody Rhodes was when AEW first started. Where Cody Rhodes just always had to get his pot shots in on whether it was WWE or Triple H. It was always something he had to say or something that he had to portray.
Punk after he left the company.
Yes, exactly. And Punk when he came back to Punk when he left the company. No, Punk when he left the company. That was a great one. Yeah,
but even when he went to AEW, what was he doing? Still taking pot shots.
Yeah, taking pot shots at AEW. When he left WWE, taking pot shots at WWE. When he showed up at AEW, taking pot shots at it's just there's always that there. But you do it and you move on. Well, CM Punk didn't necessarily move on. CM Punk, he gets a lot of flack, kind of how Will Ospreay gets the flack as well. And CM Punk is also just a controversial person. So, honestly, I do think Will Ospreay, this is something that he just needs to move on from. Him and Ricochet just need to set the phone down. Well, Ricochet needs to set the phone down. Will Ospreay just needs to tone it down a bit because the tribalism can definitely be. You don't make it any easier for the fan base as well.
I'm not gonna lie, as much as I love Ricochet, I was genuinely not surprised if somebody didn't put in the comments, you have Samantha Irvin with you at home and you're here just fucking shooting the shit with Javon Evans.
I'm telling you, you're married to Samantha Irvin and you're literally don't touch me. I'm arguing with some 12-year-old.
Right? I'm trying to show him how this really is.
Right. He's like, don't touch me. Stop singing. I'm trying to text back to Javon Evans
right now. Look at you now.
Look at you now.
Look at you now.
and also I like your point to where look, WWE, whether people like it or not, if you want to make some history in wrestling, that is a spot to go. Whether you fail or succeed, we still talk about and not talk about often, but we still bring up the likes of you remember Primo and Epico, you remember Paul Burchill. You remember, like we can talk about these random miscellaneous guys that's popped up in WWE because they were on the forefront. They showed us. We were just singing Rico's theme music just a couple days ago.
Love so good to me.
Like
exactly.
And these guys, and they're respectfully didn't do a whole lot in WWE. Hell, Maven. We're talking about Maven. Well, even though he has a YouTube channel, but like Maven.
Shouts to Maven.
Shout out to Maven, a really, really awesome dude. Never met him, but he seems like a genuine human being. But we're seeing these guys. Ricochet, for what it's worth, for as much as we seen him, I was watching Ricochet matches on Twitter because it was some random Zachary Gold something. He used to post his Ricochet matches, and I didn't know where he was wrestling at. So I was like, so that was the only time I was watching Ricochet. When he gets signed to WWE, even though he didn't win a world title, we still saw some great work. We still seen him take a super kick from Adam Cole off of a moonsault. We still got some memorable Ricochet moments.
Look at who Ricochet's facing this Wednesday on freaking Beach Break or whatever the hell the show is right there, Spring Breakin' or whatever it is. Zach Gowen. Like that man, we know who Zach Gowen is because he was in WWE.
Getting murdered. Murdered.
Lesnar and the Big Show.
Just getting murdered. And that's actually a great point right there. So if Will Ospreay wants to talk about WWE, it's okay that you don't like it. It's okay, it's not what you like, it's not what you prefer. At the end of the day, that is where the money is made, and that is where the recognition, where if you would want that, that's where you get to test, your wrestling ability. That's where you get to, and if you don't like it, you can leave. Like that is no problem. Just leave.
It's honestly the place where you basically solidify your career at this point. Like I said, you want to be remembered when you hang up the boots. Where are you going to be remembered most? WWE. That is the place.
Exactly. Even Lauren, Seth Rollins was acting like LDS. Well, I mean, even she says with Sami Zayn, we can move you to SmackDown. Well, with Sam, I gave up on Sam. I thought that I have Sami Zayn fatigue. I just don't want to see Sammy be successful in
Sammy gonna join Seth and them at some point.
Nah,
What's he gonna do?
I won't be mad, but I'm okay. I'm more so like I forgot who said this. I want to say it was you, Justin, who said Austin Theory would be a great fit with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins.
Someone said that, and honestly, I don't think they need anything else. I don't think they need to. I don't think they need to add anybody else because honestly, I look at what that genuinely could do, and that's going to elevate Braun Breaker. That's the case. Like Austin Theory in there. I'm sorry. I think he's too far gone to even recover and even like attempt to make him a main eventer. Like he's basically now either going to be a jobber for like the rest of his career right now, because honestly, the stuff with Vince like really didn't help him at all. It did nothing for him, honestly. It just kind of brought him down, and then he kind of made himself even like lower when he did the whole thing of cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase on the United States Championship and not winning it. Like that Theory's really kind of put himself bottom of the barrel, and that sucks because I think he's fantastic. But man, he is just down there, and I don't know if he can bounce back up. But at this point, you got Braun Breaker, who is basically at any point could be on the cusp of being a main eventer. Him messing around, him being involved with Seth Rollins just purely is enough to continue that elevation and get him into that main event scene where he should be. Braun Breaker should be a main eventer, but this is your way to do it. And that needs to be the main focus of the entire thing. At the end of it, just Braun Breaker needs to come out of this entire thing with Seth Rollins elevated to main event status. And that is how you do it here. You don't need to add another member and have it just feel like, well, now which one do we do? Who do we elevate here? It just feels weird to add another member at this point.
That is a great point, honestly. That is, and I love every bit of that too. Ricochet, man. See, we ain't finna disrespect. We can't disrespect Ricochet like that. I love me some Ricochet. I love now. If he go continue to do his thing, look, if he go continue to be with the Young Bucks, then okay, we can keep Ricochet. Sure, we can keep Ricochet.
Honestly, though, I enjoy him with the Young Bucks. Honestly, he's very comedic right now.
I like the pose that they did. The pose in the entrance.
Yeah, I did like that. That was smooth. And then the fire.
That was
great.
I'm like,
I enjoyed it.
I'm like, you got me. You got me. He showed up at AEW. Oh, he looks awesome. Zach Gowen. I met him. He's cool.
Dope.
Really? It says she also says no, they don't in I missed that one. No, they don't in singles matches.
Oh, maybe no, they don't. Basically, for the talk about the adding somebody to Braun and Seth, basically.
Oh, bro. Okay, got you. And don't forget the LFG people and WWE ID. Yeah, it's getting packed.
I'm just won't let you forget. He got them boys from LFG coming for Obafemi, man.
Yeah, and Obafemi's just like, brother, like, come on now.
They were in the Battle Royal on Tuesday, and the one stood out very, very much.
I would have been like, brother, y'all got to take on Swipe Right and get out of my face. Like, you just take on Swipe Right and get the hell out of my face.
Hey, they was pretty nice, though.
I like Swipe Right. I love Swipe Right.
I love him, too. Great heels.
You know who I like? He's a huge question mark to me. Cappuccino Jones. I think he could wrestle. But, man, his gimmick, I'm just like, I just don't really care too much about this man. But I'm getting there. You know,
because you don't drink cappuccino.
I just laugh because his finisher is basically Mark Briscoe's finisher. It's the Froggy Bow, so that's pretty funny.
Honestly, and he's fun. He's fun to watch. Both.
He is.
Both. So I do.
Man came out drinking a cup of coffee the first time I ever saw him, and I was like, "Boy, this man's either just gonna be all over the place, and I'm gonna love him, or I'm gonna sit back and go, boy, you better drink some more coffee."
Right? Yeah. He's like,
was that decaf?
Right? Is this? Yeah. You need to get your life together at this point in time. Teamster says Braun needs to have his move bag set free. This Braun Breaker crap they are pushing is boring. And I mean, with Braun Breaker, I think the one thing that Justice said that's huge is this project, Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker has to end with Braun Breaker being a main event guy. If Braun Breaker isn't a main event guy, something is seriously wrong with what they've done here at this point in time. I would much prefer, we talked about this, we brought this up with the Austin Theory situation about, well, how about Seth Rollins just having an evolution style thing where Seth Rollins could be the Triple H of it all, even though Paul Heyman isn't wrestling, you could be the Ric Flair of the group, and then you have your young guys in Braun Breaker being your Batista and Austin Theory being your Randy Orton. Of course, that was just me, just brains. I was going nuts. I didn't have my coffee. You know, I was going nuts at the time. I was losing my shit, going off about theories, but yeah, but
Evolution 2.0.
Right? Yeah, I was like. And then after the Braun Breaker betrays him, you know, I'm just like going on. But even that, but I do love Justin's whole take about this as well. This has to end with Braun Breaker being a main event guy. Laura says Obafemi versus Braun Breaker. That's gotta be a SummerSlam match. I want to hold that for Mania. I want that at SummerSlam. I like Oba's walk. Oba's walk to the ring. I think it's pretty cool.
Oh, and the light going.
I love that, man. The ruler.
What am I going to do with him? I'm done.
My favorite promo from him was when he was just like, I know I had a lot of people. I thought to myself, I didn't think I could do it. You know, he just like braces ruins his
I love it. I love he's able to hold the accent the whole entire time, but he's just like, you know what? For one time, I'm just gonna stop it for a second. I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if I could do it, man.
I love. He's hilarious. Like he has character. He's that Bianca Belair out of the group that you find, the Tiffany Stratton. You know, out of the group that you're finding, you're like, you know what? You have that package. You have something.
Mm-hmm. We can. You know what? You all right.
Yeah. You know what? You all right. You all right. But you know what? I can't even say what's all right because the last time we did it, I don't think it was all right. I thought it was actually pretty awful. I'm sorry. So let's see. Let's see if Devin can pull through and tell us if there's anything he has to tell us before we close this show out of here. Your music is playing. There you go.
Every time you start, I'm telling you, just imagine going out there. It's my WrestleMania main event, right? I got the championship. The last thing I hear before I leave, hey man, before you get out there, just don't fall on the, just don't trip in the ring like you did last time. Like, well, thanks. That's the next thing I'm gonna think about in this main event. But hey, I don't need all that negativity because I got all the positivity within myself. So look, all I'm gonna say is Jacob Fatu gonna dog walk everybody. So that's the word of the day, the word of the night, the word for tomorrow, and maybe even next week. So yeah, like he said, I'm gonna pull up with my Jago Fatu hoodie on, and business gonna be cracking. So I'm gonna keep this short because it's Saturday and it's Backlash, and you gotta get the preparations going. So I'm gonna hand it back over to the number one hater in the nation, Isaiah Jackson. Like, I don't know why I forgot your name.
Wait.
Hey, I had an AJ Styles moment, okay? It's just like, sometimes your words just get, how he walked in the locker room, but was like, I'm coming for that. It's one of them championships, man.
One of them championships.
One of them championships. I am. You are.
I was so floored. And this is crazy. You know what's
See, y'all, because it was your bad mojo that started it off.
But that's the crazy part. You've had 4 years. How long have we been doing this podcast? We've been doing this podcast for 4 years. You've been doing the outro for maybe 3 years.
Sometimes botches happen.
Botches happen?
I'm gonna make sure next time, like when Jey Uso did the dive through over the ropes and he kind of slipped up a little bit. It happens. He still went on to tap out Gunther at WrestleMania though. So it happens.
That was all story. That was all story.
And now he's gonna lose to Logan Paul.
See, my story is all right. That's a tale for another day.
If Jey Uso loses to Logan Paul, we have some serious problems. We have some huge.
No, see, if that's the case, Karrion Kross is really he was really on to something. Really.
I'm gonna lose my shit.
So you correct me if I'm wrong. This happened at Saturday Night Main Event, right?
I believe so.
Just what supposedly is the case. So
okay, cool. Just wanted to throw that out there. First off, let's read this lie here. Izzy is a generational hater. That is yes. This is blasphemous.
Look,
blasphemous.
I'm out of that comment. I can't respond to that.
When Izzy walks into a room full of other haters, he turned into Jago Fatu. All these haters in here. I'm a dog walk there. He
walks into a room full of haters and he's just like, "Where's Jamie?
Where's Jamie? Where's the actual hater?
Where's the real hater?
Who's the real hater in here?
Where the Miss Hater at? Oh, this is true.
Look, we don't have time to read lies at this point in time.
Undefeated.
And huge shout out to Lauren, Izzy, and Devin. I'll be back on your next show. I'm sub. Appreciate you so much. And look, if you want to be on as well, if you want to be on camera too, we love to have you. Definitely would love to get your comments and takes on your wrestling and your wrestling knowledge too as well.
Generational hate.
Yeah, you can ignore the generational hate. Or the generational hate comment. Huge shout out to Teamster, bro. Really appreciate you. Justin, love you, my brother. Really, really love you for coming on here. We texted you like what, maybe less than an hour before we even popped on.
Yeah,
still found time to pop on with us, and we couldn't be more thankful. Where can we find you at, my brother?
Y'all know where y'all can find me. You can find me on X at JustinTime211. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook at just_in_time211. Other than that, you want to find me on social media, it's right here on YouTube on Circle of Debate. Whether it's Monday nights, we doing Raw Dogging with the notorious DOM and Lady Psycho. Tuesday nights with the OGK himself for NXT. Wednesday for Dynamite, whether it's with the banger TK or the Carolina boss lady herself, Kayla. We love you, Kayla. Thursdays, we usually do the flagship show and or anything else. Apparently, we've been filling that in also, apparently with TNA watch-alongs, which is great. Friday nights, of course, SmackDown with Kayla and Dango and Chef. And, of course, Saturdays and Sundays, we got pay-per-views. But other than that, I bounce wherever. I'm all over the place. I'm trying to get back into doing that grind where anybody needs me on a show, just hit me up. Anywhere. Social medias, tell me something. I'll be there. I am the Joe Hendry of podcasting. You need a guest, and I will appear.
That is facts, man.
That was a weak clap. Here we go. it went full contact, Paul.
The GOAT of wrestling podcasting, Justin. And that's even funny that you mentioned the joke because we was even talking about that as well. I was at work and there was a lady behind me. She was working with her kid, and then she says, "You gotta sing with me. I believe in Joe Hendry." And I'm just in the other room. Like this, I was like, I'm sorry. Look, I had to, lady. Look, I was like, I'm meeting new friends. I was like, I'm meeting friends now.
You should just walked backwards towards them and then just waited for them to say it again, then just turn around quick and just been like,
waiting to walk in. I just turn around.
say his name, man.
I'd be so hurt. Turn around.
You walk in there smiling and stuff.
And a huge shout out to Joe Hendry too. He's getting a whole lot of love on TNA, on NXT. Huge shout out to Lauren too. I'm not too much on panels. I'm good in the chat. Thanks though, Izzy. Look, we love you regardless, and we love seeing you too. So we definitely appreciate seeing you as well. We got to get ready to get active. We got to see. Well, first off, I got to see if I can run to Walmart, get a mixer real fast, so we can see if we can join the boys tonight.
Let's go, y'all.
I thought he said another mixer. I was like, whoa.
For the Backlash live stream, of course, Devin gonna be able to slide through. I don't know what time Devin ain't gonna pull
hours, y'all. Backlash. Come join us on Circle of Debate on YouTube.
That's facts. Circle of Debate, the devious one, Ivan. Before anything awesome shows, fam. No, let's highlight Devin's his final words of the day. They were awful. They were awful.
See?
We already
because that's because I gotta start off with this man telling me before I go out before the curtain. And you already know the crowd don't like you, so just go ahead and continue that.
I said that man walked into a room full of haters and he looked for Jamie.
Look for Jamie.
I mean,
before I press this end stream button, Justin, one more time. What time is this Backlash event, this Backlash watch party happening for Circle of Debate?
We are starting at 6:55 Eastern, which gives us a little bit of time before the show actually starts. But also, like I said, just come in the chat if you want to come hang out. But I hope that y'all will come on the show tonight so we can get this popping. The show's going to be fun. I think we're going to get Notorious DOM as well. Going to be there tonight. And I believe OPC might be there as well. So we got to get everybody. Let's get this stream packed tonight.
Say no more. Let's see if we can get this thing going. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you again, Justin. Love you, brother. Thank you guys so much for, well, let me just go through it. Lauren, Circle of Debate, Teamster. Of course, we had the GOAT, my bad. You know the deal. And of course, we had Devin, the Tribal Chief, pop up as well. Stavo, the man, the myth, the legend, BJK as well, popping on. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Love to y'all.
Much love. And we'll see you guys next